and do the 3 rounds of inhalation and exhalation. Conscious breathing. Now let us check our breathing pattern as if now. Are we breathing out from both nostrils? How is our breath? Is it shallow or is it deep breathing? Lower your hand till you feel your exhalation. So you are now aware whether your left nostril or right nostril is active, or are they both nostril active? We start with Nari Sodhan, followed by Anulom Vyom. And the third in the series is to do Anulom Vyom with the pause. Each we do 7 times. So let us start with Nari Sodhan. Close your right nostril and start inhalation and exhalation from your left nostril 7 times. Remember to do long inhalation and long exhalation. Take a short break as you complete 7 rounds of your Nari Sodhan on left nostril, and close your left nostril. Inhale and exhale through your right nostril. Try to engage your mind in counting if you like. Count of 11, inhale. Count of 11, exhale. Next, we do the Anulom Vyom. Inhale for left nostril for count of 11. Exhale through your right nostril, 11 count, and immediately inhale through your right nostril, 11 count. Exhale through your left, 11 count. 7 rounds. The third in the series is to do the Alom Vyom with the gap. And today we do the inhalation for count of 4. Hold your breath for count of 6. Breathe out for count of 4 and hold breath again for count of 6. So rectangle breathing of 4, 6, 4, 6. 7 rounds. When you complete, do the 3 long inhalation and exhalation. Next, we do the Kapalbhati Kriya. So keep your back upright. And we do the forceful breathing out 1 per second, 60 per minute. We do for 5 minutes, 300 counts. I will set the pace, follow the pace follow the count that you hear. First, remember to do the forceful breathing out. Inhalation happens naturally. And we start now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Continue at the same space, and I'll let you know when to stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Three rounds of long inhalation and exhalation. Now we do the alternate nostril Kapalbhati. Forceful exhalation from alternate nostril. We start now. Next we do the Agni Sakriya. So change your posture to Vajrasan. Sit in Vajrasan, keeping your back as straight as possible. Bring your attention to the navel region. And what we do in Agni Sakriya is long inhalation, and after complete exhalation, with your stomach empty, without breath, flap your stomach muscles inward and outward. And as you need to do inhalation, do your long inhalation, long exhalation, and repeat your stomach flapping. So flapping of your stomach muscles inward and outward. It helps to have Adi Mudra. So keep your back upright, chin up, and we start. The last one. Relax. Next, we do Ujjayi Pranayam. Bring your attention to the base of your throat. With inhalation, you generate sound from the base of your throat. To activate your thyroid gland, bring your attention to the base of your throat. Long inhalation, stretch your inhalation and generate vibration sound from base of your throat. Remember to exhale through your left nostril. 7 times. Last one. Last pranayama. Brahmari pranayam. 7 times. Plug your ears and long inhalation. With long exhalation, generate sound from your mouth. Feel that vibration sound traveling upward. Feel the sensation of your Brahmari pranayam. When you complete 7 rounds of Brahmari, please close your eyes, maintain stillness, and sit in dhyana. Mm. 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 Mhm. 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 Om. Let us continue reading our Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I understand it's Aditi or Kapilji who is reading today.
Yes, Acharya, I would be reading. Which pada did we read last time? You can help.
We've been reading the first chapter, Samadhi Pada,
Yes.
and I think Kapilji is up to what stanza is it? Number 5 or 6 or
Number 3.
It's on the right hand page, right page. The whole line of shlokas are there.
Okay. So we are still on the second shloka.
Yeah. So third to fifth, I think three of them are in on the same page.
Yes, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
So we start with the fourth one, Acharya.
okay.
Vritti sarupyam itratra. Vritti sarupyam itratra. At other times, other than that of concentration, the seer is identified with the modifications. For instance, I am in a state of sorrow. Someone blames me. This is a modification, vritti. And I identify myself with it. And the result is misery.
Mm-hmm. But my suggestion is you read stanza 4 that you just did, and 5 and 6 in continuation.
Okay.
Then we can talk. Yeah.
Yes. Fifth. Vrittayah panchatasyah klishta aklishtah. There are 5 classes of modifications, painful and not painful. Sixth. Praman vipraya Yavikalpa, Nidra Smrityah. These are right knowledge, indiscrimination, verbal delusion, sleep, and memory. Seventh, Pratyaksha Numanagamaha Pramanani. Direct perception, inference, and competent evidence are proofs.
Yeah, so
there is a text about it.
yeah, so please read that purport.
Yes.
Yeah.
When two of our perceptions do not contradict each other, we call it proof. I hear something, and if it contradicts something already perceived, I begin to fight it out and do not believe it. There are also three kinds of proof: direct perception, pratyaksham, whatever we see and feel is proof if there has been nothing to delude the senses. I see the world, that is sufficient proof that it exists. Secondly, anumana, inference. You see a sign, and from the sign, you come to the thing signified. Thirdly, apatavakyam, up, up, aptavakyam, the direct perception of the yogi, of those who have seen the truth. We are all of us struggling towards knowledge, but you and I have to struggle hard and come to knowledge through a long, tedious process of reasoning. But the yogi, the pure one, has gone beyond all this. Before his mind, the past, the present, and the future are alike one book for him to read. He does not require to go through all this tedious process, and his words are proofs because he sees knowledge in himself. He is the omnipresent one. These, for instance, are the authors of the sacred scriptures. Therefore, the scriptures are proof. And if any such persons are living now, their words will be proof. Other philosophers go into long discussions about this apta, and they say, what is the proof that this is truth? The proof is because they see it, because whatever I see is proof, and whatever you see is proof. If it does not contradict any past knowledge, if it doesn't contradict any past knowledge, there is knowledge beyond the senses, and whenever it does not contradict reason and the past human experience, that knowledge is proof. Any madman may come into this room and say that he sees angels around him. That would not be proof. In the first place, it must be true knowledge, and secondly, it must not contradict knowledge of the past, and thirdly, it must depend on the character of the man. I hear it said that character of the man is not of so much importance as what he may say. We must first hear what he says. This may be true in other things. A man may be wicked and yet make an astronomical discovery. But in religion, it is different because no impure man will ever have the power to reach the truth of the religion. Therefore, we have first of all to see that the man who declares himself to be an apta is a perfectly unselfish and holy person. Secondly, that he has reached beyond the senses. And thirdly, that what he says does not contradict the past knowledge of humanity. Any new discovery of truth does not contradict the past truth, but fits into it. And fourthly, that truth must have a possibility of verification. If a man says, I have seen a vision, and tells me that I have no right to see it, I believe him not. Everyone must have the power to see it for himself. No one who sells his knowledge is an apta. All these conditions must be fulfilled. You must first see that the man is pure and that he has no selfish motive, that he has no thirst for gain or fame. Secondly, he must show that he is superconscious. Thirdly, he must have given us something that we cannot get from our senses and which is for benefit of the world. And we must see that it does not contradict other truths. If it contradicts other scientific truths, reject it at once. Fourthly, the man should never be singular. He should only represent what all men can attain. The three sorts of proof are then direct sense perception, inference, and the words of an apta.
Mm.
I cannot translate this word into English. It is not the word inspired because that comes from outside, while this comes from himself. The
Mm.
literal meaning is attained.
Mm. Good. Now, I hope you begin to understand the yoga as we usually understand is not just doing asanas or pranayama. First, it starts working with our mind, our mental modifications. And so Patanjali emphasizes on having your mind on check. Now he goes into detail of what are the different knowledges that we acquire, how do we acquire, how reliable are those sources of knowledge. So he brings it to three. One is your direct perception. Direct perception, how do we get? Through our sense organs. Second is inference. It's like your with your eyes you see a fire and therefore you see a smoke. That's your perception through your senses. But you see only the smoke and then you conclude that there is a fire. That is through inference. That you have this conditioning that if there is a smoke, there would be a fire, although you have not seen it. That is called inference, anuman. And the third is called, in our language, we should try to understand, is intuition, gut feelings. Patanjali calls it the yogic word or the advice of the yogis or the siddhas or the one who has experienced and realized it. We should take their words as the pramana, as correct. Now, the first two, the knowledge that we acquire through our sense organs, are not difficult to understand. I believe it is clear. If we touch anything which is very cold, we declare it is cold. We touch something which is very hot and we declare it is hot. So you have the direct knowledge through your perceptions, through your sense organs. The inference is more or less hidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge in the sense, example, like a smoke, as I said. If there is a smoke, there will be a fire. If there is a jewelry, there must be a gold or a precious metal. So inference, although you do not know, you have not experienced it or seen it. The most important is the third one, which is what Yoga Patanjali says, the yogic pramana or the word of your siddhas. If you think of intuition, you are driving a car, for example, and you are hoping to find a parking slot. Yeah. And suddenly you get a thought or you get a feeling that by taking certain turn and going at certain close by area, you would find a parking slot, and sure enough, you do find it. Now, how did you get that intuition? Who conveyed that feeling or that thought that by turning to certain area, you would find a parking? Or we generally call that intuition or gut feeling. I would call it angelic voice. Angel is trying to convey the message to you. And that is what Patanjali is talking about. That it is beyond our perception, our understanding, but yet you cannot rule out. It is there. In Sanskrit, it is also known as a Ritambara Pragya. Ritambara Pragya is that Ritambara is the divine message or divine help. So Ritambara Pragya. Pragya is light. That is some divine mystery, the divine power that shows the light. Or light here, it means knowledge. And most of us ignore it because we have no direct perception, direct experience through our senses. And we do not even sometimes have the reliable source to connect it with that conveyance of the message or the knowledge. So third aspect of what Patanjali talks here is very deep, is something that one has to think about or contemplate. Have you not experienced out of nowhere you get certain feelings or thought? Either you ignore or you check on that or you follow that. Have you had such experience ever? Simple. It could be very simple, easy in our daily life. For example, I had plenty of them, but a couple of them I can remember. If I not if, but I remember very clearly, I was aware on my walk, I had parked my car at certain place and then went out for walk. And after whatever time, 2 hours or whatever time, when I wanted to come back, after halfway through return walk, I realized the car key is not with me. And so I had no other option but to walk back to the point where I had gone and look around there. And I did not find it. And so I had no choice but to leave the car there and order the Uber and come home or whatever. And as I was walking back to find an Uber spot or my mobile that I can order the Uber, instantly, straight away, I have this thought or feeling. I don't know whether it's feeling or thought, but that I should go to where I was and look behind a particular bush, a particular plant. And I believed it. And I walked back again, second time, to that area, went to that particular spot, and I found my key. So, question is, who conveyed it to me? Who gave me that thought or a feeling that I should go back and look at that spot for the key? I would call that my angel. There is I don't call it theory because I believe in it, but there is a saying that every soul has a guiding angel. We don't see them. We can't have a direct experience of that, but there is an aura, there is an angel body all the time around us, They don't interfere in our day-to-day life, but whenever necessary, they try to convey some messages to us. But unfortunately, with our mundane activity and rat race life, we ignore it. We do not give importance to that feeling, that thought, that intuition. But that is something which is conveyed, and this is of that kind. So Patanjali is referring to that, similar to the higher self conveying to you. Now, higher self could be your own higher self, your own spirit, or spirit or a soul or an energy of the one who is awakened, who has an ability to read the conditions of mind and convey the messages or pass on the knowledge. So these are the different methods of gaining knowledge, and we have to rely upon. There is another very good example. For example, through our senses, we see a sunrise and sunset. Yeah? And we commonly call it, there is a sunrise and there is a sunset. But by use of our intellect, buddhi, if we use, then we will correct ourselves to say, it is not a sunrise, it is not a sunset, it is just the changing of the earth position. Yeah, it is the movement of the earth, spinning and rotation, that changes the situation or condition. We call it sunrise or sunset. Sun never rises and sun never sets. It is the movement of our earth, which we don't feel. So through our mind conditioning, it is easy to call it sunrise or sunset. But by using the intellect or the awareness of this truth, that sun doesn't rise or sun doesn't set. It is this movement of earth that gives us that appearance. So Patanjali is saying that before you decide on your knowledge that you gain, you must check the source of that knowledge. How reliable is the source of the knowledge? And at the end of that, he would say, as we read further, no matter what source of knowledge it is, time comes when all knowledge have to be quietened or put aside. And that is called chitta vritti nirodha, that your mind is not engaged in entertaining any thought of emotion. That's the beginning of yoga. As I have said, this should be a two-way traffic, so we need to share your thoughts and your, either you understand, you don't understand, you like it, you do not like it, whatever it is, but you have to contemplate and share your feelings and thoughts of whatever that we are reading or talking.
Acharya ji, this is apta, means we should believe the people who doesn't take anything for the knowledge. Is it that?
As we read Patanjali, as we continue reading, you will know that there are higher truths which are conveyed without use of any words. And so it's not only that you believe in the words of your gurus or your yogis, or sometime the teacher or the guru may not be able to use words, because for them to describe the truth, they find all words fall short. No words justify the truth. So they prefer to remain silent. And therefore through the silence they convey the message. And in order to understand the message through the silence, the student or the devotee must lift their power of their understanding to the level to get into frequency of that thought energy. If the teacher is operating at certain frequency to convey a message without speaking a word, unless you have lifted your energy to match and to understand the silence, what is this silence trying to convey? If not, then to people who do not lift their frequency and energy level, to them that silence means nothing. But there are people, and this is why they call the questions are dissolved without exchange of any dialogue or any answer. Why? Because the questioner themselves have lifted their energy to the level to match with the master's silence. And in many cases, you might have experienced sometime that you go to somebody, without having any dialogue, without any conversation, you feel good to sit around with some people or some places. Those places and those people have they radiate certain energy which is in line with your own energy, and therefore you find it very soothing. So there are different manners in which the messages or knowledges are conveyed. As I said, all knowledges you have to check, contemplate the source. Reliable, as I keep saying, all that we read is the higher knowledge or wisdom of those masters. We believe, we have faith, we believe, we try to explore, but until it becomes your own experience and realization, it does not become yours. You could not describe it as the final authority because it is not yours. You are conveying some master's messages or wisdom. That's Patanjali says, try to quieten the mind. Moment the mind is in check, it's quietened, you will know the self or you will know your true nature. Knowing the true nature is the end of all knowledge.
Acharya, also by quietening the mind and just staying in silence at times gives you the answers that you're seeking or the direction that you're looking at. It need not be in the presence of somebody who's on a higher space than you, but just I've experienced that.
Yes.
If I just go within myself and then probably just stare at the wall for half an hour, probably some realization does take place.
Yeah. 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 You see, what you just said is very important. That when you are by yourself, we call ourselves to be by ourselves is a kind of a solitude. You could be very much within the house or within the four walls of any area, but you need not go to absolute, let's say, escape from your society or family, but you could be very much where, but you withdraw, mentally, emotionally, withdraw and be by yourself and try to take a journey within. Try to look inside. Try to watch by doing your breathing what really is happening within yourself, inside your body. Try to collect yourself, basically, to start with. When you start doing that, first thing you experience is some amount of peace, that your mind is absolutely peaceful. When mind is peaceful, your eyes may be open. It need not be shut. Your eyes may be open, but your eyes would not see the object that you are looking at. Whether you're looking at the wall or looking at the light or looking at any picture, you are not really looking at it. It's just that your eyes, which is, as we know, instrument, is gazing that particular object, but your mind is still. And when your mind is still, it could last only a couple of seconds or minutes. When your mind is still, that divine grace, or call it divine mystery, unfold. And you realize, I don't have question. Or my question has an answer. I know what it is. So Patanjali says, the first important thing in this lifestyle of yogi, or the one who wants to really pursue yoga, is to know your mind, know your faculty. Once you know your faculty, then you can work upon it. We talk about quietening mind. Quietening mind is not easy. We have to understand the nature of mind. And mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. So the beginning point, starting point is crucial. How do you start? Where do you start? So the masters have, different sages have said, easiest way to start is to narrow down the number of thoughts. So you might have every second different thought popping out. Try to do the dharana of one particular chant, for example. Start verbally or mentally chanting Om, for example, as an example. And so you engage your mind in chanting Om. When you start chanting Om continuously, what is happening? Your mind will not be able to entertain other thoughts because mind is busy watching and watching the chanting that you do, whether it's Om or Hari Om or whatever name that you would like to do. So it's called narrowing down your number of thoughts. Of course, it's important that if you're narrowing down to one particular point, that point should have a higher value. When I say higher value, in the sense of the spirituality, it is your wish and choice to chant Om or to chant chocolate or Coca-Cola. By mentally chanting Coca-Cola, 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 the mind is still busy chanting that. So you are halfway through, you are reducing number of thoughts, yes. But that word Coca-Cola has no energy to lift your energy, to lift your spiritual life. And so by chanting certain words or name which has higher energy, you are lifting your energy. So narrowing down and then picking up the chant or a image which has a higher vibration or higher energy level. Stay with that. And finally, the mind, you do not need to chant because the mind will get imbibed in your mind, in your subconscious mind, and your mind will remain still. Maybe for a few seconds or few minutes. It depends on the individual. But important is to watch that period of few minutes when you are absolutely in silence mentally. And that is called being aware of the awareness. Being aware of the awareness. And this is when in that samadhi, in that dhyana, when you are experiencing a small pause or a gap or space between two thoughts, or when you feel that you are chanting and you are tratak, your eyes are looking at one point without noticing the object, and mind is blank. But to be aware of that blankness of your mind is crucial. And that is called being aware of the awareness. There are the other easy method, for example, when we do the pranayama, if you do the Kapalbhati for 10 minutes, or when you do the Bhastrika pranayam for 5 minutes, continuous, whatever happens during that 5 or 10 minutes is not so important. But what happens at the end of the 5 or 10 minutes is vital. Because when you complete the 10 minutes of Kapalbhati, and whatever that you experience, whatever that is happening within you, if you are observing that, or being aware of that, you will notice there is a peace of mind. Mind is not engaged in entertaining any thought for some time. For some time, it need not be for hours together. We are not talking at that level. For a beginner, to start with, just do the pranayam for Kapalbhati for 10 minutes, for example, or Bhastrika for a couple of minutes, and watch what is happening. That energy that rotates in your body, that frequency, that you have to remain aware that you cannot fall asleep or dull-minded or you shouldn't miss out that after that pranayam, your mind is absolutely still. And you would love it, you will enjoy it, because it's the natural, it's our original nature, that peace. And when you experience that, you automatically like it, you love it. There are different methods for a beginner. As I said, these are different pranayam. At the end of pranayam, be still and watch. Or the chanting, continuous chanting. Do continuous chanting. And after continuous chanting, let's say you have a 108 time chanting of particular, whatever that you like to chant. At the end of 108 time, stop. Take a little gap, break it, and watch. Watch your emotions, watch your thoughts. You will realize there is a long gap between two different thoughts. That gap is what you have, what you are calling peace.
I have also experienced, Acharya, when you wake up in the morning, you are kind of at a very peaceful state of mind. And the real challenge at times is to how long can you just hold on to that peaceful state.
But there it's like edge of a sword. It's very delicate. Why it is so delicate? Because this could be a result of your mind is enjoying that lovely warm cushion or a blanket and you don't feel like getting out, and therefore you like to be in that state again, continue. So it is your mind which is enjoying that rest. But if your mind is alert and experiencing that it is not that, and truly enjoying this peace.
Yeah.
When you're truly enjoying this peace, remember, if it is lasting more than few seconds, then it is a game of your mind. It's a play of your mind. Yeah. This feeling of no thought or stillness usually lasts few seconds. And then your mind brings you back to the rat race or whatever activity. So you have to be watchful that whether it is the mind getting dull or mind becoming alert and still.
Correct. That's a very good indicator.
Yeah. But yes, you are right. Actually, if it is early morning.
Yeah, early morning. Just the
But
serenity of the morning.
correct. Before sunrise.
Just before sunrise, that's just the
Yes.
silence around you,
Down.
stillness
Yeah.
around you,
Yeah.
and
So at that
maybe
time,
somewhere in the background the birds are chirping, waking up.
yeah. Yeah.
It's a very
So
beautiful feeling.
yeah. So at
I
that
mean,
time, if you get out of your bed and just take
yeah,
a seat and just watch, just
yeah.
feel that surrounding, feel the whatever chirping of birds, or with your eyes closed, try to visualize the sun is rising up, or actually you feel sun is rising up,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's that time it could give you
I
experience
mean,
of that peace.
I'm an early riser, and there are people who normally ask me why, how can you wake up so early? And I just tell them, just
Mm.
watch one sunrise in the morning, and you'll just.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Very good.
Rumi has a beautiful word which he says, the morning sun has a lot of secrets. Do not go back to sleep. Do not go back to
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah, that's true. I mean, it is that it is said that that time the energy level is higher than during the day,
Yeah,
because you know how it works like that. It is we projecting our positivity or negativity.
correct.
Yeah. So let's say in a house there are 5 people. Okay. Out of 5, one person wakes up at 4 o'clock or 4:30 or whatever time. You will find, oh, so wonderful, so beautiful, so peaceful, so blissful, so nice, because the entire surrounding is at peace.
The entire ecosystem is at peace.
But all 5 are awake and they're doing what they want to do, whatever they are doing, their respective work. Their mental activity, their thought, they may not be addressing to you, there will be no dialogue, but their thought energy starts projecting. And without your knowledge, you get affected with that energy. If it is similar energy as yours, then it's like you are in a holy place. Yeah, because the energy level is absolutely the same. And so
There
you
is
have
satsang.
correct. So you have a collective energy which is so powerful. But imagine a child has a different thoughts, and senior has different thoughts, and somebody else has different thoughts, and they're operating their own based on their own thoughts. It all vibrates in the atmosphere. And it may not be in synchronizing your level of energy or your thoughts. And so it's then the peace gets pieces.
It is also to pieces.
So yeah, that's why it is good to have early morning, maybe half hour, that's good enough. If you are able to sit half hour doing nothing. Nice. Om. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we deserve. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Acharya
Thank you,
ji.
Acharya ji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.